Hello, so a very quick live today just to follow on from the post that I made yesterday. So the post that I made yesterday, and that is actually still on my website if you want to take a read of it after this or try and share it, but you're best off sharing this one, maybe up here or up here. There's a subscribe button so you can subscribe every time I'm live. There's going to be a lot more of it coming up real soon. If you're part of my Life Lab group, then I've just done a live video in there. If you want to head off into the group, there's a live video on there that I've just done, and that is all about inflammation, supplementation, the difference between supplementation and also drugs as well, and how you can reduce your drug intake, the impact that they have on your body, and also why supplementation is important, including the secrets all about CBD oil, which is on the lips of everyone right now. So if you're a member of the Life Lab, head into the group right now. Let me just say before I quickly start this, I've got 2 spaces left on my retreat, which is starting on Monday. It's in Norfolk. So you can head to spend 5 days with me away on a retreat, and you can come across and join me for a reduced rate. It's not going to happen very often. The next one after this is in May. 2 spaces, shared room. PM me after this and you can get involved on the retreat. Now, I just want to follow on from the blog post that I made yesterday, and I just want to do it really quickly and give you a visual and an audio understanding of exactly what I was speaking about in that blog post, because it's really important. Now, most people are always snacking, and it's a problem. It's having a real impact on your ability to lose weight and why you're struggling. Even though you're eating skinny muffins and you're having rice cakes and Ryvitas and diet this and diet that and very low calorie this and low calorie that. Hey Reese, how you doing? So no matter what you're doing, the thing is that the reason you're snacking is, firstly, it's in our culture, okay? Everyone does it. You know, you're off to coffee, you're going to have a snack. You meet a friend, you're going to have a snack. You're off with the kids, you're going to snack on their foods. It's part of our culture, and it's something that you've learnt and you continue to do time and time again. You're never really hungry, let's face it, okay? The next reason that you're snacking is your hormones, namely your hormone ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hormone which is a hunger hormone, and it's also a signaling hormone which tells you all about when to eat. It can be taught. So if you've been eating at certain times throughout the day, whether that's a meal or a snack, your hormone ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, flags up and says, oi, it's time to eat, because it's been taught that way. But what you can do is reteach that hormone ghrelin, and obviously if I am doing intermittent fasting and I used to eat 3 times a day regularly with snacks in between, and found it quite difficult to get as lean as I wanted, then actually, you know, when you reteach ghrelin and you just go through those 2 or 3 days of hunger to get to where you need to be able to conduct intermittent fasting, you can experience all of the benefits of intermittent fasting, the health and psychological, your focus, your attentiveness, and the fat loss. All of those benefits when you just get past those first few days and you reteach ghrelin, that hunger hormone, that, oi, my meal times have changed. And the other reason you snack, the third one, which isn't picked up by many people or experts out there, and that is you are eating nutrient deficient meals. Okay, so the first one was the reason we snack, it's in our culture. Okay. The second reason is that it's our hormones. We have taught our hormone ghrelin, our meal times, and it can be retaught, okay, to stop it flagging up and telling us when we've got to eat. And the third one is nutrient deficiencies. Nutrient deficiencies. Okay, you're eating nutrient deficient meals. You're eating low calorie, shitty pre-prepared meals from Weight Watchers or Slimming World, or you're eating low calorie stuff that is completely processed, devoid of nutrients that your body needs. Believe it or not, it needs 90 nutrients to be able to turn this off. That's why you should be eating nutrient dense meals all of the time so that you get most of your nutrients, your nutrient intake, which will turn off hunger. Your body can do two things. It can send out a craving, okay, or it can send out hunger. The craving is a craving for a specific nutrient deficiency. So if you're getting a salty craving, okay, your body is telling you, I want real salt, I want Himalayan salt, or I want Celtic sea salt, so that you give me those over 80 beneficial minerals that are put there by Mother Nature in that salt to be able to have all of those nutrients and to bring me back up to the levels that I want. If you give your body constant nutrient deficient meals, that aren't provided by Mother Nature, that are processed and devoid of all the shit, of all the nutrients that are supposed to be in there, and they've been cooked out and processed, then your body is going to constantly send out that hunger signal, and you are going to snack consistently. That's the secret. Okay, now that's the first part that I spoke about on the blog yesterday, and you can take a look. Obviously, it's below this video somewhere, okay, on my page. And you can click on there and go and read it if you want to have further understanding. But hopefully this will clarify everything for you. The next thing I spoke about was insulin. Okay, and most people don't have a damn clue what insulin does or what it is, or even if it affects them. The only reason you hear about insulin is when you or someone else becomes either pre-diabetic or diabetic, and you begin to understand a little bit more about insulin. But everyone has it, everyone needs it, and without it, your cells wouldn't get what they need. It's like a friend, it's like a shuttling process to be able to take nutrients, not just sugar, out of your bloodstream and take it to the cells where it's needed. Okay, that's a really important thing to remember. So it's not just carbohydrates which elevate your insulin in your blood, it's food, protein, amino acids, fatty acids, and also glucose as well. All of those elevate insulin, okay? So when you eat food, proteins get broken down into amino acids. That's what enters your bloodstream, not protein. When you eat fat, it gets broken down into fatty acids. That's what enters your bloodstream. And also when you eat carbohydrates, any carbohydrate for that matter, it gets converted into glucose, and that's what enters your bloodstream. And then insulin is sent out equal and opposite to what is sent out there. It holds the hand of whatever a nutrient is, finds a receptor, gets it out of your bloodstream, gets it to a cell that's where it's needed, okay? And that's why if you're working out before you have your carbohydrates, your insulin will take glucose out of the bloodstream and take it to your muscle and your liver first, because you've depleted your muscle and liver of glycogen, which is a broken down form of carbohydrate. And it'll take it there rather than storing it as fat. But I'm sort of digressing a little bit now. Basically what I'm saying is when you eat food, not just carbohydrates, insulin comes out and gets it out of the bloodstream and takes it to a cell where it's needed without getting too complicated, okay? Now, whether you are eating a skinny muffin or you are having drinks, okay, whatever it is, insulin will come out and pick up those nutrients and take them to where the cell is needed. Now, the problem is, okay, I'm just going to write there just in case you are following, food, okay, stimulates insulin. Not just carbs, stroke sugar. Okay, it's important to remember that. Okay, very, very important. Okay, now the problem, when you eat food and you stimulate insulin, so you eat food, any food for that matter, insulin is in the bloodstream, okay? And when insulin is in the bloodstream, your fat loss switch is off. Remember that, circle it, whatever. When you eat food, Insulin is sent out by the pancreas, which is where it's made. It's made by the pancreas and excreted by the pancreas. It's sent out into the bloodstream to pick up these amino acids, fatty acids, and glucose to take it to the cell that's needed. But the problem with that is that your fat loss switch is turned off. Okay? Turned off. Your fat loss switch, the technical term is HSL, or hormone sensitive lipase. Not that that makes any difference whatsoever, but it's basically your fat loss switch. Sits on top of your fat cell and says, do not release fat. Don't release fat. Don't burn off fat. Stay in there. That's it. Regardless of if you are eating a rice cake to stay skinny, to stay slim. Oh, it's hardly any calories. It doesn't matter whether it's hardly any calories or not. It's still going into your damn bloodstream. It's still getting insulin to be excreted and still picking it up and still turning off. Doesn't matter whether it's a skinny latte. It doesn't matter whether it's a skinny muffin. Okay, it does not matter whatsoever. When you stimulate insulin, your fat loss is off. That is why I used to despise, back when I was a personal trainer back in the gym, I used to despise it and it used to kill me, but I never used to say anything because it'd probably look at me like that. What the hell are you going on about? Is when people are going into the gym and they are on the cross trainer, or they're on the treadmill and they're running at a slow speed, and their mate comes up to them and says, "What are you doing? What are you here for?" They go, "Oh yeah, it's low intensity, it's fat burning, isn't it?" You know, and then they pick up an energy drink, a Lucozade, a Gatorade, or whatever, and they sip on that full of carbohydrates, or one of those monster drinks, anything like that. Okay. You are then stimulating insulin and your fat loss is off. Okay, if you or anyone you know is doing that down at the gym and their goal is to lose fat, not performance, forget that you've got to separate the two, fat loss and performance, okay? Unless, of course, you're doing intermittent fasting, then it gets more technical. And I'm going to speak about that in depth on a podcast and a video and a blog post, okay? But what's coming tonight is a post all about cellulite, okay? I did a live video on it before. I'm going to do a post about it, and then I'm going to do another live video about it as well to clarify that for you. But when you are going to the gym and you are trying to lose fat, do not drink anything which is going to stimulate your insulin, because your fat loss switch will be off. Insulin in the bloodstream, fat loss switch off. Insulin in the bloodstream, fat loss switch off. Remember it, digest it, tattoo it on your arm, paint it on the wall, I don't care. Remember it, okay? It is so, so important. Now, what relevance does all of this have to do with snacking? Well, I have pre-done for you a little graph, okay? So if you get a chance, you can do a little screenshot on your phone once this is done, and that will remind you as well, okay? But basically what I've got here at the top, if you can't quite read it, I've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sleep, okay? Who's that? Katie Mills. What energy food would you suggest for long endurance training to keep weight off and keep fuel in whilst on the course? That's a very in-depth question, Kate. Probably too much for this live, but I will keep it in mind and I'll probably do a blog post on it for you, and then maybe a further live all on its own. But that's a really good question, Katie, and I really want to help you, but it's beyond the scope of this one because I'll be here all night. All right? And obviously people and you have probably got things to do. But we'll remember it. Message me to remind me. Okay, so I've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sleep. Okay, and what I've written here is insulin stimulated fat formation. ISFF. Insulin stimulated fat formation. Insulin is released in response to food. Food comes in, it's broken down into amino acids, fatty acids and glucose into the bloodstream. Food, okay, or nutrients enter the bloodstream, stimulate insulin. Insulin stimulated fat formation. Remember that, okay? At breakfast, lunch and dinner. What I've got here is fat loss due to reduced insulin. Fat loss due to reduced insulin. When you are not snacking or not eating, fat loss due to reduced insulin. Reduced insulin, insulin won't be there, or in a reduced amount due to not snacking or not eating, okay? So here's your baseline line here, okay? On one side of the scale, we have fat loss happening. On the other side, we have fat formation, okay? So we have breakfast and insulin. We eat food, not just carbohydrates. We eat food broken down into its nutrients. They gradually go into the bloodstream. Insulin is released, clears it all up, and okay, it goes back down. Same goes for lunch. Back up, fat formation, back down. Back up, back down. Okay? Now, what most of us do between here and here is I'm going to have a low calorie snack. I'm going to have something like, all food stimulates insulin. All food, Mark. All of it. Everything. Okay? So, all food. It gets broken down into fatty acids. Insulin comes, picks up the fatty acids, and then it will remove them and take them out. To a lesser or more a degree, I'm not saying it's going to spike as much as sugar, but it does. All food stimulates insulin, even branched chain amino acids, okay? So, there's your baseline. Insulin stimulated fat formation, insulin stimulated fat formation, insulin stimulated fat formation. But what most people do between here and here is they go, I'm going to have a low calorie snack. I'm just going to have a rice cake. What harm can it do? You know, I'm just going to have a low cal, whatever. I'm just going to have a low cal this. I'm going to have a skinny muffin. I'm going to have a skinny latte. Or just a little small bit of cake. Insulin out. Okay, so then you have a snack. And a snack, okay? Jesus, what does that look like there? Okay, so you've got, I better make them a bit more pointy, don't I? Okay, so snack, okay? Snack, okay? Insulin stimulated fat formation, insulin stimulated fat formation. Where's the chance for this fat loss to happen? Because insulin turns off hormone sensitive lipase, okay? It stimulates, it turns off hormone sensitive lipase, or HSL, or your fat loss switch, okay? So there's no drop into this zone between these meals. There's no fat loss drop into this fat loss due to reduced insulin. You're not dropping into this zone. But when you stop snacking, okay, and you have your 3 meals a day, okay, then you're not going to have this, okay, between the meals or here, and you're going to get a drop into the fat loss, and you're going to get a drop into the fat loss, okay? And incidentally, when you sleep for 8 hours, okay, you get a massive drop into the fat loss zone. No insulin, you're not eating. But how can you benefit, all right? One thing you can do is stop damn well snacking and increase the nutrients that you have you can increase the nutrients that you have at these meals, and then you're not going to get the hunger signal for nutrients and or any cravings. So then snacking is a thing of the past because you're getting the nutrients and your body's not saying eat food, I need nutrients. When it's saying eat food all the time, it's saying I want nutrients. I want nutrients now, give them to me. That's why you get snacking. That's why you want the cravings. So the first thing you could do, the very first thing you could do is to eliminate this snacking between these meals and then at least get a drop into this fat loss zone. Okay, but what else could you do? You could actually, what I do, and that's fasting, and there's going to be a real in-depth video on this, there's going to be a real in-depth podcast on this, and there's going to be a really good in-depth information on a blog post as well, okay? But the way that you could change this around, and this is how I do it, you've got 16-8, which is fasting, okay? Fast for 16 hours, which includes your sleep, and you have an eating window of 8 hours, and incidentally, you don't need to drop your calories or the amount of meals, okay? If you can have your 3 meals in that 8 hour window, you can have 1 meal that is the same amount, okay? all you're doing is increasing your chances in this zone here by fasting. Or you can do OMAD, which is what I do a day, which is 1 meal a day, right at the end of the day, which is fine. People go, aren't you going to get fat when you eat late at night? No, take a look at my pictures. Go on my Instagram, have a look. No, you don't get fat. Okay, it's absolute bullshit. All right. So what else could you do when you get into this? Okay, is let's just create another one. Hopefully you can see that below there. Okay. What about lean meat, veg snacking? Still no. Take a look. What I said, all food stimulates insulin. All food, to a lesser or more degree, but all food stimulates insulin. All. Okay, this is why fasting works really, really well. Okay, is you've got this breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so we'll come right down there. Okay, and okay, you've got your morning. All right, so I will be down here. I've just done 8 hours of sleep. Okay, breakfast. Nah, I'm not going to spike into that area. I'm going to stay here. Okay, so I've actually come from there, and let's say that's the night time. I've gradually come down. Okay, and then I haven't eaten anything at breakfast. Okay, and then I'm not going to snack, and I'm not going to go into lunch. And I'm going to come into dinner, so 8 hours. So you could extend this back, right the way back to the night before. Fat loss, fat loss, fat loss, fat loss, fat loss. Growth hormone up. Testosterone up. Inflammation down. Autophagy, which is the recycling of proteins, is up. Okay, anti-aging, everything. Okay, let me just do it. Okay, during this period I drink water, fruit teas, coffee, whatever. Okay, so then fat loss, fat loss, fat loss, fat loss, fat loss, and then I do have my dinner. Bang, and back up into that zone there. Okay, so I've now, rather than having little dips into this fat loss zone throughout the day, I've got a fuck off great dip right the way from the night before right into this fat loss zone below baseline. I then eat, and then I get insulin stimulated fat formation. But what I do is I work out here. Okay, and when I work out here before this meal, then a lot of these incoming calories are going to be diverted towards anabolism, or the building of muscle and the repair of the muscle. So then fat storage is absolutely limited. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. That's a lot to take in, but basically snacking is killing your progress. You don't need it. You're not supposed to do it. Endurance sports is a different matter. Okay, but if we look at the hunter-gatherer mentality, okay, they would have been out and they would have been gathering and hunting and walking and moving. They make the kill, or they find the food and they struggle and they find it. They're working out, take it all back to the tribe. They cook it all together. They eat one great fuck-off great meal, go to bed, wake up in the morning and repeat the process all over again. They did not wake up and find a bowl of shreddies outside the cave or the mud hut. They did not find the cow wandering up to their thing in the morning saying, kill me or suckle my teat. It fits, okay? And the body is able to balance out these hormones. By the way, growth hormone is a fat loss hormone. Testosterone needs to be in balance. I'm not saying it increases it, but it balances it from where, or takes it up from where it should be. What sort of meal do you eat before fizz? I don't eat before fizz, I eat after. So this is where my meal comes in. I'll work out in sort of this period here somewhere, okay? And the workout that I do would be weight training followed by a HIIT session, okay? Weight training followed by a HIIT session, and the meal that I will have will actually contain potatoes, without the fat. Okay, I'll do crispy potato wedges without the fat, loads of salt. I'm basically going for as many nutrients as I can, and my calories aren't less than what, it's a bigger meal, but actually it doesn't matter. All right, I like a big meal. It's a bit of a reward for the day, and I've looked forward to it. I've worked out. Okay, I really looked forward to that meal. And I don't eat meat, but you know, if you want to eat meat, then that's cool. That's fine. All right, that's your choice. But I will be having beans and legumes. I'll be getting a high protein there. I'm looking at very nutrient dense and calorie dense foods. If I was to eat a salad at the end of this day, I'm going to get full very quickly, and it's not going to be very calorific. I want to be getting like very high calorific stuff, nuts, beans and legumes, quinoa. Yes, I am having my veg, obviously. I'll normally break my fast with a smoothie so that I can get some fruit in there. That will get broken down, obviously, into glucose, and then that will refill the muscle. I'll get some good green foods in that. And basically that's what I'm doing. I'm eating as much calorie dense food as I can in that window. I'm going to bed fat, dumb and happy, and ready to do the whole cycle again. And don't forget, it takes the whole headache out of the day. I don't even have to think about what I'm doing for breakfast. I get my kit on and I go to work. Don't have to think about it. Water, coffee, fruit tea, anything like that. And it's a really good method to follow. But suffice to say, snacking is killing your process. At the very minimum, I would suggest nutrient-dense meals. Which will prevent you needing to snack anyway. If you've only just come on and you've missed this, I would definitely watch this one back. If you loved it, please share. Please share this live video. You can subscribe either here or here. I don't know where the subscribe button is, but somewhere there, okay? Either side. And also you can hit that share button. That helps me. Don't forget, 2 spaces left on the Life Lab retreat starting next week on Monday. Reduced rate, PM me. Also, if you want to know more about the Life Lab online program, where you do more of this shit and you get more of this live videos with me and all of the help you can ever wish for and support, and an actual program and membership to follow with all other people, hit me up and let's get you involved. At the very least, if you enjoyed this, please share it. Take care, guys. Have a really good evening. It's been lovely to be here. I'll probably be back tomorrow morning. Not tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. And I'll be talking cellulite. Take care. See ya.